Welcome everyone to my first advanced tech guide for Peach. This guide is going to be based on a tech called JCFF. It is a tech that involves a single 2-button input and allows you to instantly cancel Peach's vertical momentum with float. JCFF stands for Jump Cancel Fast Fall. And the benefits of learning it are that it's a very basic input, it's easy to practice, and it has so many applications. So really, this is going to be a JCFF guide. Before we get started, I have one request for you, and that is to set one shoulder button to jump. This will make sense later. Alright, let's go over the basic input to perform this tech. This is what a JCFF looks like in isolation. As you can see, Peach activates float for 1 frame and then immediately fast falls. You start this tech when you are already holding a jump button in the air. You want to flick down on your control stick and then release the jump button within 2 frames. Note that you are not holding down any buttons after performing the input. The game does have an indicator for when you perform this tech correctly, and it is the pink fastfall star. Flicking down too early can result in this stalled slow fall kind of thing, and flicking down too late can result in no fast fall at all. You'll want to get the hang of this input. Try doing it in training mode until you can fast fall consistently 9 times out of 10. To make sure you aren't holding down too long, you can practice JCFF onto a platform. This is important because you will often want to do neutral air after JCFF. Alright, so you've mastered this up and down kind of movement, but what can you do with it? In the next segment of this video, I will be going over every application of the basic JCFF. This tech is kind of limiting, but we'll build on it later. JCFF straight up and down can be used defensively and neutral to avoid your opponent, and you can even throw in an aerial. These aerials are powerful tools when challenging an opponent's approach. If you want to put this tech on the move, you can dash before you JCFF. To ensure you've done it correctly, watch for the dash dust effect on the ground. Overall, stationary JCFF isn't super useful in games, and I found myself even fishing for it to try to record clips for this video, so let's put the input to better use with SHJCFF. All credit goes to Dandyman, the person who popularized this super cool tech. An SHJCFF is done the same way a JCFF is done, just with pressing 2 jump buttons instead of 1 to get a short hop. We can use SHJCFF to fix Ultimate's problem of giving you limited initial dash options. As I covered in my projectiles video, you can dash into SHJCFF into any grounded option. This gives you the ability to dash forward and pick a standard grounded option, such as grab, tilt, shield, or even down special. As I mentioned previously, this is a great tool to make your movement on the ground even more precise in neutral. It also allows you to have instant access to shield to block oncoming projectiles. Getting stuck on platforms is a constant issue in Smash Ultimate. This is because you cannot dash and drop through a platform. But you can with SHJCFF. Performing this tech while on a platform and then holding down until you get through the platform before letting go enables you to fall through the platform after a dash. To get access to neutral air, you only want to hold down until you are through the platform. SHJCFF can help greatly with item play, because it allows you to do instant Z drops and Z catches off the ground. For both the drop and the catch, do a standard SHJCFF, but replace one of the jump buttons with the grab button. In addition to making your item game faster, it gives you a frame 4 out of shield option. Short hop jump buffered Z catch is frame 4 out of shield. When the short hop is cancelled, it can lead to a few conversions. One more thing I want to mention, when you do SHJCFF Z drop with the turnip and do a tilt immediately, you'll re-catch it, enabling you to do a ground tilt while holding a turnip. If you do the Z drop and buffer down B, you'll have access to the second fastest way to cycle turnips. The fastest method, by 1 frame, is super inconsistent. It involves the short hop Z drop followed by 1 frame of ground float followed by releasing ground float into a buffered down special. I will now be discussing moving JCFF, the most useful application of JCFF in my opinion. This one I constantly use when I'm playing. As you can see, it is a moving JCFF without a dash beforehand. The input for this is quite tricky. It involves holding a direction while you are jumping initially, and then doing the standard JCFF input. You can learn this by doing 2 separate inputs, the one where you move forward and the JCFF. You'll notice that you have to do these inputs rather quickly to get the stick to reset to neutral in the middle. As you practice this, you'll notice that you don't need to reset the control stick to neutral in the middle. Rather, you can combine both of the inputs into one continuous one, where you move from the side of the control stick to the bottom. Again, you push the control stick to the side in the direction you want to move, and then flick it down to the bottom to JCFF. Some people I know have found it more useful to pull the control stick slightly up when moving and slightly farther back when performing the JCFF. You have to get the feel for this input. It is very hard to explain, but do note when you're practicing not to get any dash indicator. This tech takes a lot of practice to get consistent. I don't know why though, because techs like wave bouncing and B reversing, those have a similar input, but they feel a lot easier to do. So practice until you can get this tech consistent. You will absolutely 100% need this input if you want to do advanced tech. Now let's combine stationary and moving JCFF. This tech is called DJCFF, or Double Jump Cancel Fastfall. It involves an instant double jump off the ground followed by a moving or stationary jump cancel fastfall. You can perform it with tap jump by holding up and then pressing X immediately after into the JCFF input. You can also do the same with two jump buttons by pressing the two in quick succession to get a short hop followed by a double jump and JCFF. Holding a direction while doing this gives you the ability to shift your momentum with the double jump. It also makes your jump quite a bit bigger. This is a commonly referenced tweet by Samsora showing how he uses instant double jumps to extend the range on his aerials. This tech can be made even better if we cancel the second jump using a DJCFF. This is the same input as before, but it is followed with an aerial. The jump cancel allows you to hit the aerial lower to the ground, making it faster and safer. Doing this with back air, for instance, is incredibly hard to contest, and the move is very safe on shield. Given the amount of control you have over your aerial momentum while you are doing this, you can pull off some crazy pressure while avoiding the opponent's options. You can't really do this with forward air because the move will auto cancel, so I'll go back to Samsora's tech. This is an instant double jump, followed by a ground float aerial. Note this is much easier to execute than the full DJCFF. You can delay the double jump too to get even more mix-ups. This is a maximum height short hop followed by a DJCFF forward air. Just remember, you can always double jump and then hold that jump button to cancel the second jump. Wave landing is kinda cool, but DJCFF can be a faster way to get on platforms. Do a DJCFF to get up onto the platform, but then stop holding down so you don't fall through. Add this to the SHJCFF platform technique we mentioned earlier and you get some insane platform movement with Peach. We can even add in the moving JCFF. It is a great way to reach the top platform from the side platforms. For this too, you don't want to hold down for too long after the JCFF input or else you'll fall through instead of landing on the platform. Peach's platform movement is insane and is so much fun to practice, and it'll reward you big in matches. You'll be able to move around stages like Battlefield and Yoshi's a lot faster. Let's apply all the variants of JCFF to Peach's shield pressure. For those of you who don't know, shield pressure is the art of recognizing and covering all of the opponent's options out of shield. JCFF, moving JCFF, and DJCFF give you enough mix-ups so that you can safely hit your opponent's shield without getting hit by any of their out-of-shield options. All of Peach's aerials are incredibly safe on shield, and when spaced can be impossible to punish. In addition, using these techs can enable you to cross up your opponent whenever you need to be on whichever side of their shield is safer. If the opponent isn't dropping shield or rolling, you can perform two aerials followed by a ground float aerial or a tilt to break their shield. If you know the opponent's going to roll, you can usually cover this option because you have enough control over your aerial momentum. And if the opponent drops shield, all of these moves are combo starters. And not just any combo starters, these are the combo starters that lead to the high damaging down tilt combos. Using the down throw turn up 0 to death setup, it is +0 on shield. While we're on the subject, let's discuss JCFF's role in Peach's combo game. JCFF, Nair, Bair, and Up Air work similarly to their ground float counterparts in starting combos. My last video discusses all of these combos as well as their setups, if you are curious. Standard ground float aerials in the middle of Peach's combos can be replaced by moving JCFF aerials. They are slower but easier to space. I normally do these when I know the combo is going to be true for sure and I'm scared of the opponent DIing in over my head. These moving JCFFs also apply to the up air drag downs. They actually make the combo more true and easier to space. Let's take a look at JCFF in action, for some in-game applications. I will first be discussing using JCFF in Advantage. Using JCFF to mix up your movement and also throwing in aerials can apply a great amount of pressure. This gives you access to a bunch of unreactable mix-ups that your opponent will need to take into consideration. Plus, the last thing the opponent wants to do is get hit by one of these aerials. Applying appropriate pressure can scare your opponent into picking a predictable or bad option, or it can also just pressure them into shield. You know what happens from there. This tech also adds to Peach's incredible ledge pressure game, enabling you to move quickly and cover your opponent's options, and it simply allows you to be faster, enabling you to chase your opponents down and continue to hold advantage state. It can also be used to anti-air your opponents with a drag down up air. Let's talk about JCFF when neither player has the advantage. JCFF can be used for precise positioning and intimidating movement that may allow you to win neutral. The blue Peach in this video is named Aereo. He is one of the best Peaches I've ever played, and his movement with JCFF in neutral is insane. Watch as he uses these advanced movement options to take advantage of any bad options I pick. In general, having JCFF is going to make neutral a lot easier, because it simply gives you access to better frame data. It really allows you to mix up timing and spacing on your aerials, so the opponent won't know when you're going to swing. This is obviously important because the last thing you want to be in neutral is predictable. Since Peach doesn't have the best approach options, you should absolutely be taking advantage of JCFF as a means to win neutral. And, as I always say, winning neutral with Peach comes with big rewards, as you get a lot of damage from a single aerial. JCFF is also a great defensive option. If the opponent wants to approach you, that's good. You can avoid their attacks and counter with the JCFF aerial. JCFF can also be used to avoid projectiles when you're playing at a distance. What's also cool is JCFF can be a really quick way to escape disadvantage, as not a lot of your opponents expect you to move like this. On a similar note, it can also be used to greatly mix up your recovery in a way that the opponent does not expect, taking away a potential edge guard. That about does it for this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop them in the comments below and I will respond. And if I missed an application of JCFF, absolutely let me know. As always, thank you so much for staying around to the end of the video, and thank you so much for 100 subs. Glad to see that you guys are enjoying the content. If you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do so.